So
What is up, Bonsar? How you doing, sir?
good. Happy New Year, everybody. I know we're already well into the second month, but yeah, this is our first installment for the year, and it's our first episode after quite a while. We have real life obligations, so sorry everybody for the long hiatus or the long break in between episodes, but it's good to be back.
And I'm glad we're doing this again. I'm excited. A lot of things to talk about.
Oh yeah, I mean, Wangjor, do you wanna uh, say anything? Um, what's your take on the year so far?
Yeah, man, I feel like this whole month has lasted almost a year. There are a lot of obviously the new presidency has kicked in the U.S. A
Yeah,
lot of natural disasters, from
yeah.
forest fires to earthquakes to planes running into helicopters and planes running into Philadelphia, and so much going on. So much going on.
Speaking of which, yeah, speaking of those natural disasters, where we're from, Tibet, there was a pretty nasty earthquake. I know it happened about close to what 3 weeks, pretty much a month now. The earthquake that happened around Shigatse in Tibet. Yeah.
I know there was a lot of damage done, and the area in Tibet where it was hit, that location, I think you have some family ties in it.
Tingri, this area called Ngumring. That's where my dad's whole family hails from. So, yeah, it was completely devastated by the earthquake.
No,
Yeah,
definitely prayers out to all the family and people that were affected in that area.
yeah, yeah.
Position.
Also, the Los Angeles wildfires. All the people just devastated. The homes, the wildlife, the animals. I know you. I think you know a little bit more about the Los Angeles wildfires than I might.
Yeah, what I know about it is there's so much right now, there's so much damage, especially being done in an area that's usually been associated with wealth and
Mhm.
being really well off. Like the Pacific Palisades is one of the wealthiest areas in our country. Now that place suffering a lot of damages means that in the future, when it's going to be rebuilt, there's going
Mhm.
to have to be a lot more attention towards future forest fires that might be ravaging that area again.
Mhm.
Because with global warming, obviously everyone knows that now there are more risks, more higher risk areas of these kind of instances. But there are also like
Exactly.
a lot of, if you think about it, a lot of other repercussions. Like I think when it comes to insurance, right? So think about it. A lot of these houses are now going to be even more expensive to live in because insurance rate premium is going to go up because insurance companies need to make money too. And now with
Yeah.
all these properties that are now going to be filing for insurance coverages means the insurance premium is going to rise up to compensate for that rising cost. And a lot of companies have, interestingly, either have already left California or are
Mhm.
now in the process of leaving California. So what that's going to do in the end is put the burden on the government to provide the specific insurance coverages. And our infrastructure, I feel like right now is not set up for that. That place has been in place for Florida for a couple of years. So if you think about what it does is if you're having government pay for all the damages that are going to be suffered from these natural disasters, that means that taxpayers are going to pay for it. So that means somebody living in Maine who's never suffering, who's never, had to deal with insurance for their property damage is now paying from part of their paycheck for a person that's living out in in the Pacific Palisades. So think about it, like living out there has its own risk. Everybody knows it's a risky area. So there's a question of
Mhm.
whether or not people who live there should have a responsibility to kind of pay extra for that risk, or
Yeah.
people around the nation, or the whole general public paying for that person's basically insurance policy through their premium increase.
Which insurance companies in particular do you know? Which ones? were hit hardest by the wildfires, or?
Well, the biggest company that has been affected, obviously, in the past has been State Farm, and State Farm has been really proactive in its in the way it's approached the insurance industry. It has left California. I think it's been almost 5 years now.
Wow.
Yeah. So
So State Farm is not in California at all.
State Farm, no, they have
Oh.
left California. Actually, it's been multiple years since that
Oh.
has happened. Yeah.
Was it during the previous? I know. I don't think it was Los Angeles, but I do know. I think it was more around the Bay Area in San Francisco. That I think there was previously some wildfires. I think it was around that time, right? That they pulled out.
Yeah, State Farm. I think no, State Farm it's in 2003. State Farm left in 2003. Allstate has left
Oh.
2022.
Oh
So
my.
all State Farm 2023, Allstate 2022,
Mm.
Farmers Insurance Group 2023, Nationwide
Oh,
2020.
even nationwide. Wow.
It's going to Nationwide is planning on leaving in June of 2025. And I'm reading this off of a local news website. So there
How
are
about
many
like
others, but those are some of the more well-known ones. Travelers as well has left. It's been about
Travelers
2 weeks.
too? Or how about Aflac and Liberty Mutual?
Liberty Mutual is not. They're not listed as the ones that have left or reduced coverage.
Wow.
But yeah, it's only going to add to the problem of expensive cover housing and the cost of housing. Right? Obviously, there's a big debate around how to fix the housing crisis, and now rising cost of premiums obviously is going to exacerbate this issue.
Mm. Yeah. So is it, from the little bit I've read about this, the insurance situation, it seems like a lot of people are pointing fingers at California's administration or I'm sorry, the administration of these insurance companies, or they're just leaving California because I guess they deem it prone to natural disasters. So, um, do you know if insurance companies have pulled out of other states in the wake of multiple natural disasters in them, like American South, the southern states have a lot of tornadoes and hurricanes. Do you know if the similar situation has happened in other states, or is it just California?
It has happened in Texas, Louisiana. Surprisingly, is one of the more harder hit
Oh yeah,
states. Insurance companies have left Louisiana. I mean, everyone knows of Hurricane Katrina.
yeah.
And then we also have Florida. State Farm has also left Florida in the recent years because of the rising hurricanes, flooding. Obviously, the water levels are rising every year, increasing the cost. So I think, what I know about this is a lot of people are encouraging disaster-resistant housing, and there are really cool. Actually, I'll I'll share my screen here.
Yeah.
There are cool companies that are actually making efforts in kind of providing relief, or actually some more information about how to kind of be proactive in this. So allow me 1 second to share this here.
Sure. No, take your time.
Yeah. So this is a proactive way. This is called First Street. This is a standard for climate risk financial modeling. So what you can do is type in an address, right? So let's say, for example, can you give me a random address without giving away your home address? I think that's Louisiana, actually. Let's see. If you search it, then you can choose different areas. So let's say you can type in your home address here, right? So or a house that you're looking to buy. So what it does is it gives you a flood map. It tells you the risk of it says zip code 703 has a major risk of flooding over the next 30 years. There are 9,100 properties in 7 that have risk of flooding over the next 30 years, over 90% of all properties. So there's a huge flood risk. Obviously, Louisiana is known for this kind of issue.
They're known for flood.
Fire factor, I would assume this is going to be lower here. I think it's going to flood history. There we go, fire factor. Moderate risk represents 20%. Yeah. There's information such as the wind factor, heat factor, and air factor. I'll put in my address, the house that I currently live in right now. and we have very little flood factor, fire factor, or wind factor. The biggest area of concern is heat. There's been a rising, heat has been rising. The wind factor, yeah. So you can tell these areas are extremely, this area in Louisiana is extremely vulnerable to many different types of natural disaster risks like wind, fire, floods. Then if you look at, you can get specific as heat.
Mm-hmm.
So these are tools that have now developed and are increasingly important because of all these areas. So when next time you're thinking of buying a house, or if you're somebody that's investing in property, these are some of the really important tools to kind of navigate and use. And they use very, very reliable data. I've been following them for a while now, and definitely trust
How did you find out about First Street?
Well, just through research, I mean, I'm on LinkedIn a lot, so just my connections. A lot of people in my industry are in property restoration,
Public
in the
restoration, right?
construction industry that rely on a lot of work from insurance companies, and insurance companies now will rely on information like these that what I've just provided them. So, just through a web of connected networks.
How do they assess what is high risk based on where do they retrieve the data? Do they do it via AI or?
No. So it's AI, I think, is part of it, but most of it is through climate modeling based on previous events. So they look at trends in that area. They also look at kind of the layout of the city and the infrastructure that's put in place to kind of combat it. I can share the screen again, but they actually have a really detailed notes on how they gather and provide this data, because everybody's gonna be asking that question, like, how is this find out? What's the methodology behind it? So yeah, there's a lot that goes in place, but we can definitely talk about it if you want to talk more about it.
Let's say they had State Farm before 5 years ago, when State Farm or any of these insurance companies decided to pull out, like you said, Allstate pulled out in 2022. How did they, how are they covered until a certain point, or do they basically just have to accept that the insurance has pulled out of the state and just have to look somewhere else, and that they're really pretty much left in the dirt?
I think that's a really, really good question, and I don't pretend to have the answer. But when I think about this issue, I think there are going to be local insurance companies that are willing to take on their risks, since there is that vacuum that's now being left by State Farm. The contract has been ended by State Farm after a term has ended. There's no legal recourse. Then there are other insurance companies that you can look to. But like I said, government provided insurance is now going to be one of the next kind of areas that people will turn to, because when businesses are deemed the area too risky to live in, and then property owners are not able to kind of take on that risk, then they're going to need somebody else to step in. That's what the government's going to be there for. So that's what I see.
Can you explain government provided insurance? So wait, I feel like I should know more about this, but could you fill in both myself and the audience more on what government provided insurance means? Like, are there companies that are funded by the government, insurance companies funded by the government, or just directly from the government?
These are directly from the government. Let me share this screen here now. This is Freedom Health that I'm going to share with you. Freedom Health is the federally funded or statewide funded insurance program that's in place for homeowners in Florida. So as you can see here, this is a .gov here, so you can see that's how it.
.gov. That's how you know it's government.
Yeah, healthcare transparency. Let's see.
Wow.
Oh, this is healthcare. One second. This might be.
Are there multiple? And you said there's multiple. This is not the only one. Freedom Health isn't the only one, right?
To my knowledge, actually, one second. This might be Medicare now. One second here. It's taking me to. Public insurance. No, what they provide is like piecemeal. So let's say Florida has a lot of flood damages, right? So they can provide you with flood coverage, right?
Blood
So
coverage.
they're not going to cover for a fire damage, right? For example, it's piecemeal.
Piecemeal. Okay. So how about is it just okay? So property insurance. Okay.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
need some more time to look into this. But yeah, there are government programs available right
Yeah.
now. Government insurance programs available for people to look into.
Sorry, Freedom Health, is that nationwide, or is it just strictly for, is that for Florida?
Yeah, to my knowledge, it's strictly for Florida
Uh,
at this moment.
mm,
But obviously, each state is going to have its own version of freedom
yeah.
insurance, where they can have a state-funded insurance program um,
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
make sure that homeowners actually buy homes, right?
Well, thank you for informing me and educating the audience on the severity of the insurance situation in the country right now.
I mean, I think it's interesting because if you think about it, right, like people who live in those areas are really well off. Their
Yeah.
houses are worth millions of
It's
dollars.
five, yeah, like in the Holly, like even celebrity, you see it, the LA fires, celebrities, big name celebrities have had to flee their homes. And unfortunately, you know, one, I guess, for lack of a better word, benefit of tragedies and calamities such as this is it really levels people out. It really brings everybody together and really puts everyone on an equal playing field, or just an equal field. Yeah.
I mean, I think that agreed. I'm right there with you.
Yeah.
Kind of where I was going with that was a little different. I think that the risk, if in the future this kind of insurance programs are given to the government, is going to be funded by the government.
Mhm.
Then I think that people in that specific area should have to pay more for premium rather than doling it out of a federal tax funds that are being paid by citizens across the U.S. Right? I shouldn't have to pay higher taxes because somebody wants to live in a high risk area because they want to live by the
Yeah.
beach and by the
Playing.
mountains where the risks are higher, right?
Yeah.
So I think that the people who bear that risk should kind of pay for that risk. Think about it, right? Because I mean, it's all an if, right? If a person who wants to live in Florida in Miami Beach, but they know
Yeah.
that the houses that they're going to live in are likely going to get flooded,
Yeah.
like it's okay. The government's gonna, I have insurance with the government will pay for it. But when government pays for it, that means everyday people pay for it. I think people who choose to live in a high risk area,
Yeah.
because of the perks that's being provided by that area, I think should
Mhm.
pay for that
And
perk.
we should be kind of, I guess, grateful that we live somewhere that has something like insurance plans. And because I was watched so I saw these videos of the earthquake in Tibet, you know all these people in their villages, and entire families, why devastated. And there's no such thing as, yeah, obviously they don't have any insurance policies. They have to rebuild everything by hand, by their own labor. And life in Tibet, it's not easy. It's you have to brave the rough conditions. And but luckily there seems to be a lot of support for those earthquake victims. So I guess
Mhm.
yeah, I can't feel too pitiful, I guess.
Yeah.
Pity to a
And,
minimum.
yeah, and once me and you being in Virginia is actually like I think we're really fortunate to live in an area
Oh
that
yeah.
doesn't suffer that level. And I'm curious, what if you type in 1600 Pennsylvania? What
Yeah, no, definitely
White
the
House? Oh,
entire mid-Atlantic region, like DC, Maryland, Virginia. I mean, I can't say it's really, no risk of flood. Like if you want to type in Alexandria, which is about 15-20 minutes from me, Alexandria, Virginia. I know that Alexandria can get flooded pretty I don't know about regularly, but they've had some pretty devastating floods over the years. So if you want to check out that, so just so it doesn't sound like we're generalizing, you know.
Right. I'll put in one of my old home addresses in Charlottesville.
Good idea.
I lived here for a little bit. There we go, in
Bellevue
Charlottesville.
Avenue.
So if you search this address, you will see the house here, and then you'll see this is what it provides you: 1 out of 10 flood factor, 3 out of 10 fire factor, 2 out of 10
But the
wind
heat
factor.
factor is pretty up there.
Exactly. Since it's
That's-
not too far from where I live now, it's
Yeah.
let's see.
I feel like that's a Virginia-wide thing, especially in the summers. You know, the humidity and the heat is nearly unbearable.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, altogether, pretty rough start to the year. I know you heard about, you know, I'm happened just literally 20 minutes from where I live. The Potomac River incident.
Yeah, yeah. It was really I read about most of the people that were on the plane were related to a kind of, it was figure skating, the figure skating,
Yeah,
the US figure
they
team.
were part of a national figure skating club, and they were really young, talented young kids, young skaters, and just had everything taken away because of this calamity.
You know, it's insane. The FAA has been one of the safest organizations. If you think about it, like you never really hear about stuff like this. The fact that it's the deadliest kind of airplane accident that's happened in the past 15, 20 years shows you how safe flying has actually been. You know, there are hundreds of thousands of people that die from automobile accidents every day. You never really hear about them because that's so commonplace. But
especially like Reagan and Dulles and the, you know, most DC airports in general, they're I never felt intimidated or scared on any flight. So this was definitely a big wake up call for me, and I guess any other DC area travelers or travelers anywhere. You know, anything can happen anywhere, anytime, really. So, but I will say this: I'm going to share my screen real quick. So apparently sorry, I'm trying to forgot how to share my screen. Oh, there we go. So basically, this is a NPR article. So for a long time, the helicopter route. So you know how like airplanes, pilots follow designated plane routes from point A to point B that they have to follow, just like we follow highways. You know, just like cars have to follow roads, airplanes have to follow these routes. And so do air helicopters. Helicopters also have their respective routes as well. So apparently the place, the area, the general airspace where this crash occurred has been worrying a lot of pilots for years. So we can read here. Several helicopter routes passed by and even over GCA, including the one followed by the Black Hawk helicopter that crashed into the inbound American Airlines flight on Wednesday. The recommended maximum altitude for helicopters on this route is 200 feet. AA flight 5342's last transmitted altitude was approximately 300 feet. So yeah, and it's also one of the country's busiest runways. So yeah, I mean, I'm far from being an expert on the whole entire situation, on anything, you know, airlines related. So I am not going to even attempt to give any kind of professional perspective. But I will say, from what I've read, from everything I've read, it seems, and I mean, I'm not trying to demonize, you know, the helicopter pilots. You know, they had their own families. They had their own loved ones who are grieving, not just the airlines, the airplane victims. But it does seem to me that there were telltale signs before this calamity occurred that could have possibly mitigated. But just hope that this will bring about change to mitigate future instances, and just, especially for people who frequent, like I said, from Reagan, out of Reagan Airport. So hopefully this incident will trigger something in lawmakers to keep us from fearing future air travel.
And the crazy thing is, literally
Mm-hmm.
4 days ago, another airplane crash, this time in the Philadelphia area.
You
So
kidding?
if you watch this video here, this is in Philadelphia. This happened February 1st, I believe, or might have been late
Yeah.
January.
Tonight, investigators on the ground of a deadly plane crash in northeast Philadelphia that led to this massive fireball and shower of embers.
Oh my God.
You can see the plane plunging straight down before the explosion sent people running.
It sounded like it's getting closer. Then it just like, yeah. Then I had to get low a little bit, and it hit the street right in front of me.
Andre Gary had been walking in the area and captured.
Yeah, I'm not gonna make everyone watch the whole video, but yeah, this is from NBC. As you can see, that's absolutely insane. And then on top of that, that now there's the new developments in AI, which is kind of caused fire in its own sense, right? Like the rise of Deepseek has really disrupted the tech industry. There's been so much kind of fear and confusion about how it's been able to succeed and do it as efficiently as it and as cost effectively as it compared to like Chat AI and what Meta has come up with. So that's insane.
A lot of people are saying that it will overtake AI, Chat AI, and a lot of other homegrown American AI systems. Do you see the potential in that happening, or?
I think it might be really difficult. I mean, if you use ChatGPT right now, it's just so good. The sophistication you can
I honestly, sorry to cut you off, but I honestly can't. It's very hard for me to remember. Well, it's not hard for me, but I mean, I've just become so ingrained and accustomed to using ChatGPT and OpenAI that it's just made everything so simplified that how I was functioning with all my tasks before it, it's very hard for me to envision. So
let me share this. So this is Sora AI.
Oh yeah, the videos and
video generated profile that's now available to the public. And for premium version. So these are all computer generated. So Sora has its own problems. I'll start with that. But the fact that you can create something like this out of just prompts is insane to me.
I love the croissant.
Yeah, giant croissant, or is it giant croissant or a tiny man, tiny chef? Either way.
Yeah.
But yeah, these are just really, really good content that Sora can do, and Deepseek is nowhere near being able to replicate that. So if I'll go to Deepseek right now, Okay, yeah, let me maybe not share the screen right now.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Deepseek. I can maybe show the listeners, and I guess there might be mostly listeners. So it's difficult to describe what it is that you guys are we're looking at. But Deepseek has really high quality videos that can be generated just by a prompt. So you can write something like, "Give me a lady dressed in the 1800s, with a letter A branded on his chest, and that's like scarlet letter, right? Like you could create like a small mini movie or something like that based off that book."
These are all things that science fiction novels have elaborated on in the past, like 50 years ago. Like I can't remember at the top of my head, but I do remember reading as a child like these old sci-fi books, and they're tampering with the possibility of how far AI could go. And I don't know if you saw recently in the Chinese New Year those dancing robots.
No.
I can actually share my screen. So yeah, China dancing New Year's, yeah, humanoid robots. So I was watching the Chinese New Year, Lunar New Year celebration this year, and it's just like, yeah, a bunch of dancing robots, and it was just really, yeah, this is literally stuff, yeah, like I said, this is what science fiction novels have been talking about for years before now. So surreal, we're already living in this era. Well, thank you again, Wangjor. You are the AI. I like to say you are the AI Anderson Cooper, because you're always up to date on these things, on everything AI. You know, let's drive away from all the current events. Have you been anywhere recently?
Been anywhere? I've been really wanting to go to Banff National Park. So I think I might make that. I'm planning a trip in there this summer. But I think somewhere in the U.S. would be nice. I was thinking about going to California, but I know there's a lot of things going on there right now. But I know New York's always fun place to go, and I know you were there recently, actually, right?
Yeah. I'm always I've been meaning to check out upstate New York with all the state parks and the national parks. But well, no, I don't think there's any national parks in upstate New York, state parks. But yeah, I was in New York City this past weekend. Always a pleasure. Always enjoy going up there. I had no idea about this, actually. Did you know that New York City, New York City is well known for Central Park. It's the biggest park. But did you know there's a park in New York City, which was actually right next to the hotel we stayed at, that is literally exclusive. There's one of two very exclusive members only parks in New York City. One of them is Gramercy Park, and that's where we stayed at. Literally for the last 150 years, only a select few people with the key, if you lived in the surrounding vicinity of Gramercy Parks, and just really beautiful luxury apartments and townhouses just surrounding the park. If you live in the directly adjacent areas and they give you a key to the park, other than that, nobody else is allowed. I think there's one day a year they do let anybody in, but just one day a year, and for centuries. So I had no idea such a place existed. We went to Soho, if you're familiar with that. That's like kind of like the main fashion district in New York City, kind of like their Georgetown. What Georgetown is to us in DC, it's Soho is New York City's main fashion district. And I had a good time. A lot of
Did you get any clothes when you were in there?
No, not this time. Not this time. I usually, no, I didn't come back with anything. Came back pretty empty-handed. Hotel did give us some nice. The hotel we were staying at. Shout out to the Freehand Hotel in New York City. They gave us some nice commodities, but other than that, I came out pretty empty-handed.
Let's see. Do you know what the exclusive, was it Gramercy Park looks like?
Yeah, Gramercy Park. It's I mean it's like it's gated, so you can see through the gates. You can see everything, but you can't enter it unless you have a key. It's just crazy. It's like, hundreds of millions of people must walk around that park every single day, but only like a few hundred, at the most a few hundred or so can go in. Even in the, it's a place so open. It's not like an exclusive looking, yacht club or nightclub or something. It's just a park, and and anybody can see what's inside, but nobody else can go in. So like, just crazy that places like that are still in existence. And
I wonder what the qualifications are. Do you have to live near the area? Have lived there? Do you have to pay like a certain amount a year?
I heard from somebody. Yeah, I think you do have to. Yeah, just basically, if you live in one of those townhouses directly adjacent, if they give you a key. I mean, I did see a couple of like park like grounds. I guess landscapers, groundskeepers. I did see them, go in, and they definitely don't live there. They just work there. But other than that, no.
New York's known for like New York style pizza and Bodo. I mean, like, and his bagels. Like, did you try anything?
Yeah.
Like that?
Oh yeah, I love the. I always have to eat pizza when we go up to New York. So yeah, it's one of my favorite foods, especially New York style. You know, you can fold it. But main thing when I go up to New York, I always got to eat Tibetan per se, Tibetan food, Tibetan
My
restaurants.
gosh. So what's your favorite Tibetan restaurant in New York?
Oh, hands down, this Phayul, 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 like homeland in Tibetan. But there's
We
two.
know we okay. Uh-huh.
There's two Phayul restaurants. So if you're in New
Uh-huh.
York City, there's
Mhm.
two Phayul. There's one that has a big location at a street corner. It's I'm trying to remember the name of the main street, the two streets that intersect, and the restaurants at the right corner. I forgot the name of the streets, but the big signed one, big signed Payu restaurant is that on that street corner. But in my opinion, the one with the better food is the original location, the smaller location, which is located directly, literally right across the street, but at the top upper second level, the upper level of the restaurant. So you just have to walk up to this, enter in, walk up the stairwell to the very top floor, and that's the original Payu restaurant, and that's the place I would recommend.
Oh, Payu. Okay, Payu, the one with at the top, the rooftop.
Kind of like the hole in the wall looking one.
The hole in the wall. Gotcha.
Hole in the
I
wall.
think I might have actually been there, and I thought it was really, 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 really good.
Probably have. Yeah, most
Obviously, you like momos there. Anything else that piques your interest there?
Oh yeah, I love the momos. I also like their shapta, which is fried beef,
Uh-huh.
stir fried beef, and I really like their chapale.
My mouth is literally watering as you're. as you're describing.
Yeah, definitely got to eat dinner soon.
Don't they have a Momo? What's it called?
The momo.
No. It's where you go around Momo hopping, and event Momo
Yes,
Fest.
yes. There's a thing called Momo crawls. I haven't been to one, but I've been invited on Facebook, and I think I got a few invites on Instagram to attend these Momo crawls. I think it's just like an annual thing in that area of Queens where all the Tibetans and Nepalis and Bhutanese live. Where basically people go to, there's like a competition between multiple Momo restaurants to see who has the best momos. And I don't know for sure, but I think Payu's won.
Payu's one. I wouldn't
I
doubt
think
it.
Payu's momos have won the competition, the Momo crawls.
I see. Man, got you. Man, that's a. I haven't been in New York, and I think it's been maybe 8 to 10 months.
Oh, really?
Guys,
Okay.
thanks for taking me back through the memory lane.
Of course, man. Love going to New York.
Yeah. Any crazy metro stories?
I mean, this guy showing his butt on the homeless guy showing his butt. But other than that, other than the prevailing stench of piss that just slams into your face as soon as you walk into the subway, and not all subways. I mean, I think it was 23rd Street in downtown Manhattan. Yeah, that place reeked. That station reeked. So I definitely, if you have a mask, I wouldn't fault you for wearing it if you're in the New York City's subway system.
If anywhere in New York is the place to do it. Wait, I want to go back to the homeless man real quick though. I want to talk about this. So
Yeah.
he was showing his butt. Was he just incidentally naked, or was
No,
he
no,
like
no, no. He was just like standing in a.
ass
No, he was
splashing
standing.
people?
No. He was just standing in front of one of those advertisement screens, the screens
Mhm.
that like have advertisements. Yeah. So he was just standing in front of perpendicular to one, and just like looking at the floor, and he was like fully clothed. It's just like his pants were sagging, and for whatever reason his underwear was sagging along with his pants, and not the top part, just the back part is, and exposing his butt, just literally everybody walking. But he wasn't like doing it. He wasn't like malicious or like bugging anyone. He was just existing with his butt out.
He was low riding with his boxer, like with his underwear. That's crazy.
Yep.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. So New York
Hey.
trip success.
Yeah, New York trip. Yeah, I mean, you talking about Banff National Park and New York State parks. But the thing about I heard about Banff is the bears there are very bold. I don't know if that's. I'm sure if you live in Banff and know that not to be true, you must be infuriated by me saying that. But I mean, this is just something I've read a lot of people talk about on Reddit. The grizzly bears in Banff National Park are very bold and not afraid. They don't have much fear of humans. I don't know if that's true, but
Yeah, now as we're going as Americans, I bet they're even more upset. Now now that we impose a tariff on them, I'm sure the bears are even more furious.
yeah, right. Yeah.
Did you hear
But
about in the NBA? There are the NBA team in Toronto. Every time another team goes up there to play, now they're getting booed by the Canadian fans because of kind of
I heard about that. Yeah.
political tension now going on.
Is it strictly political or is it like
It's strictly political. I always think it's super interesting when politics blends into sports, but yeah, it's strictly political.
times we live in, right?
Yeah, but strictly political. People, for those that don't know exactly what we're talking about, and it's because Trump tried to impose a 25% tariff on goods from Canada to the U.S. And obviously that has now been pushed to a later date. But still, Trump has been profusely trying to advocate for Canada to become America's 51st state, and a lot of goodwill has been built up. And now Canada feels like it's being taken for granted, and now they're kind of letting their emotion out in any ways possible. And one of the ways has been during the American national anthem when the NBA teams go up to Toronto to play.
Right. I feel like I should know more about this, especially since I was born in Canada. But thank you for educating me.
Oh, it's all right. It's all right. C'est bien.
But speaking of, since I was talking about bears earlier in Canada, brought me back to this TV show. And I actually I'm also started reading the book as well. This TV show that actually came out maybe like 7 years ago. It's called The Terror and it's on Netflix.
I haven't seen The Terrors. No. Is there a bear in it?
It takes place in Canada.
Spoiler alert for anyone that wants to see Terror.
Spoiler alert. I'm not going to disclose whether or not. All right, I'm going to disclose. I will disclose that it has something to do with Canada. I won't disclose it if it involves bears or not. But basically, yeah, it's like this fictionalized account of the 18. I don't know if you're familiar with this. The 1854 lost expedition across the Arctic. Have you heard about it?
No. 1854 lost expedition in the Arctic because they got killed by bears. No, I haven't heard of that.
No, so this 1850. So I can share my screen.
Isn't this going to spoil?
It might. I mean, it's all history, so it's already been. I guess it's already been.
You can't do spoilers.
Spoiler for something to be. If something happened, if something's already happened in history, I think it's the ultimate spoiler. But yeah, basically the whole entire premise and setting of The Terror, this TV show, and it's on Netflix, is in the Arctic. Yeah, it's like right around there in northern Canada, right around Greenland, that part of Canada, so like Arctic Canada. And basically this British expedition, just these two ships, so the Erebus and the Terror, which is literally the name of the ship was called Terror. So they basically disappeared without a trace, because they were just trying to find if there's a connection or like a passageway between the Atlantic and Pacific oceans in the very extreme north. Because before now we have the Panama Canal, which connects them all the way down by the Caribbean in Panama and in Central America. But they were trying to find if there was another way up in the Arctic. So it basically disappeared without a trace. And they did find the wreckage of these two ships, the Terror and Erebus. very recently in 2014. Yeah, a search team led by Parks Canada located the wreck of Erebus in the eastern portion of Queen Maud Gulf, and then 2 years later, the Arctic Research Foundation found Terror's wreck. And now they've been protected the place where they found him has been protected as a national historic site. What the movie or the TV show Terror really focuses on is the allegations of cannibalism. So, the remains they found of the crew of these ships strongly suggested that the crew members basically cannibalized each other because obviously, in the Arctic, you're stuck in ice, frigid temperatures, and the food they were eating apparently was laced with lead. They were only eating out these tin cans, and they were like susceptible to all kinds of diseases. So they ended up eating each other, and that's what this TV show sort of, that's sort of the theory it kind of draws on. Like what could have happened? It's maybe they didn't cannibalize each other, or maybe they did, but what if there was a supernatural element to it? What maybe something else happened to them? Maybe they got eaten by something else,
Jesus, yeah, I guess you'd have to. I wonder if they named the HMS Terror before or after. I hope they didn't. I hope they did it after. But yeah,
they must have jinxed themselves.
Yeah, if I was gonna get on the airplane, it was called, like
Yeah.
be careful. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I was getting on a airplane called Terror.
Horrendous.
Yeah.
Death,
Death or horror, Have you been watching anything on recently or reading anything interesting? I know you've been big into the books again, the literature.
No, man, not that much recently. No, I haven't been reading that much in the past week or so, but I was in Gabriel García Márquez's I was getting into his work. I read I've been reading. Right now, I'm reading 100 Years of Solitude.
Oh,
Before that, I read Love in the Time of Cholera, and it's insane. So let me just explain the premise because it's insane. Okay, so just hear me out, okay?
Mhm.
So the book starts with explanation of this really old doctor somewhere in the South Americas, okay, or in Central America.
Yeah.
And he ends up getting, he's in his old age, but he has done a lot for that city during the time of cholera and helping navigate its sewage system, providing healthcare plans. So whatever, he's really well known. And he ends up dying of old age, right? In the beginning of the book. And then the story turns to his wife, who has been with him for 50, 60 years.
Mm-hmm.
And after the funeral of her husband, that's really well known, she has people that helps her with the funeral proceedings. And as the funeral proceedings, and there's like this one particular person that's really, 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 really helpful. And after everyone leaves, he turns to her, he says, I've been waiting for you for 50 years for this moment for your lover to have passed away. So I can tell you this one time, I've been in love with you for past 50 years. And this is the moment I've been waiting on. Boom. Wow. That's how the book starts. And the whole rest of the book is based on that beginning premise. I thought it was insane. Yeah.
That's quite an entrance.
Yeah, right. It's quite an entrance. But so exactly, yeah. So that was a book that I finished recently, and now I'm reading 100 Years of Solitude because it's one of the best known works in the 20th century. And it's also by the same author.
I watched it on Netflix.
100 Years of Solitude.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah. I feel like there are a lot of, but that's what I've been doing. What about you?
Yeah, 100 Years of Solitude kind of made me.
Have you been reading any or watching new shows or reading any new books?
I mean, besides the Terror I'm on right now, so the Terror has 2 seasons, and it's coming out with a third. Luckily, it got renewed for a third season. And so I'm on the second season right now, and it's actually taking place during the period of Japanese American internment in World War II. You know, Franklin D. Roosevelt put all the Japanese Americans for fear of, you know, espionage, because at the time, obviously, we were at war with Japan. So, and then it's just incorporates elements of horror into that. And so far, I'm really liking it. I had no idea it has a season 2 because it's not on Netflix. But yeah, highly recommend if you are a lover of historical drama and horror, and you're really interested, because now there's not a lot of horror movies that or TV shows that incorporate the two. Then you will love the Terror series. So yeah, that's what I've been watching.
Gotcha. Anything new you've tried recently that you want to share? Any new food? Any new books? Any new drinks? Any new coffee drinks? I recently tried cortado, which is like
yeah.
Have you had cortado yet?
I feel like I have, but I honestly, I really don't think I could distinguish it from like a regular latte. And I'm probably gonna get admonished by anybody hearing this who might be a huge coffee lover, but I really couldn't. I just generally drink my coffee black, no matter what it is, cold brew, iced coffee. I just drink it black generally.
You're a cold brew man. I know that for a fact.
Oh yeah. So yeah, I definitely am a cold brewer.
Have you ever had cold brew concentrate by itself?
I think I have. Yeah. You're talking about the one that you buy from the store, like, you know, off the shelves.
Yeah, you're supposed to dilute it with like 3 parts water or something, right?
Oh really? Yeah, I think I drank it straight.
Cold brew.
I drank it straight a few times back. I remember drinking it straight, and I could always tell like something's wrong. This is not how coffee. This is not normal coffee.
Yeah, your heart rate's through the roof. You know?
Oh yeah.
What about cafecito? I think it's a Cuban caffeinated drink from Cuba. Yeah.
No, but I'm not familiar with that. But I do have a new favorite. So my favorite coffee of all time. I have 2 favorite coffee. There's 2 places that I get all my coffee from. Blue Bottle.
Shout out Blue Bottle.
Shout out to Blue Bottle. And
Sponsor
then there's also please sponsor AROK podcast, Blue Bottle. Huge fan. They have a location in Georgetown, DC. I practically live there. I also practically live at my second favorite coffee roaster. It's a local company here in Fairfax, Virginia, Foundation Coffee Roasters.
Shout out Foundation Coffee Roasters.
Big shout out to Foundation Coffee. I know you guys are probably going to watch. You guys have probably a higher likelihood of watching us right now. So please shout us out on Instagram. So sponsor AROK podcast.
Free gift cards.
Free gift cards, free packs of coffee beans. I bet I'm waiting for it next time, guys.
Or merch. I would like some merch.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
But yeah, hey, Wangjor. I think this was a great start to a new year with AROK podcast. Again, our audience members, thank you all so much for bearing with us through the storm. I know it's a brand new channel. Another fresh start. You know, we just but thank you all for weathering through the storm with us.
Yeet, yeet. Thanks, everyone.
All right, Wangjor, peace out. Hello.
Marathon, brother. Think about it.
Marathon, yes.
Good
We
luck.
will. Last year we did a full marathon. Basically, we did 2 half marathons. So this year,
Got it.
yeah, why not? Why the heck not?
Think about it, but you gotta get started early, brother. You gotta get trained early. You can't be not trained.
Can't be lagging behind for sure. Yeah.
All right, brother. Take it easy, man.
Peace out, brother.
Peace
All
out.
right, love you, man. I appreciate it, man.